All right guys, I'm gonna show you how to turn your yard from this into this. How's it going guys? Welcome back to the PatriotDIY channel. Now today we're gonna be talking about overseeding your lawn. Now the property that we're on right now is one that we built our house on about a year ago. This entire property used to be a field, and when we built our house we leveled everything out, we cut everything down, and we were trying to plant some centipede grass out here. That did not work out great for us. We had very little centipede come up. Overall, what's out here in our yard is mostly just what volunteered up from the ground. And one of the big issues that we have out here is that we have very hard packed clay soil. Now if you guys are from the south, you probably are familiar with this problem. This ground, especially when it's dry, can be hard as rock, and it's really difficult for water to penetrate. It's difficult for those seeds to penetrate down into the soil and get some good growth. Most of the time the water just runs right off of it. It doesn't really soak down in like it should. Now we're going to try a little bit different method, see how it works, and take you guys along for the ride. So if you like these kind of videos guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate that. All right, now before we get started guys, I want to let you guys know I'm not a landscaper, I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy trying to get some good grass to grow in his yard, and I don't want to pay somebody else to do it. Now I'm gonna give you guys an example of some of the worst and some of the best areas of the yard before we get started, and then I'll give you a before and after once we get to the end of the video, so make sure you stick around for that. What you see behind me here is an example of the worst. We have very little grass here. It's mostly just really hard packed dirt. And just to give you a quick little breakdown of the plan, what we ended up doing was putting down a soil conditioner. I will put some links in the description below to some different soil conditioners. What we used is designed to help kind of break down and loosen that soil. Next thing we're doing is we're going back with an aerator, and we're going to aerate the entire yard. That aerating just by itself is going to help loosen up that soil, let some water and nutrients and stuff get down in the ground. That's really going to promote more growth from the grass. And then we're going to come back over the top with more seed and see how that works out. Now let's get started and I'll show you what we're using. First thing we did guys was we went ahead and cut the grass down super low. That's just going to help eliminate some of that competition and really let the water and the seed get down to some fresh soil. It's really important to get good seed to soil contact. Cutting that grass down nice and low before you start this process is definitely going to help you out. All right guys, now for the soil conditioner, this is what we use. It's just a gypsum soil conditioner, and it's supposed to improve the structure of heavy clay soils. Like I said, you guys may choose to use something different, just depending on your soil type, and I will put links to all this stuff in the description below. All right guys, and we're just putting down the soil conditioner with the push behind seed spreader. It's doing a good job. You want to make sure you look at the directions on the bag to make sure that you're putting down the recommended amount for your area. And we're just going to go back and forth in both directions in this yard to make sure we get good even coverage everywhere. All right guys, this is the aerator we're using. I will put a link to this in the description below. It's just a heavy duty plug aerator, pull behind your mower. It's important guys for this process that you're using a plug aerator. Now there's a couple different styles of aerators. Some of them that just have the spikes and just make holes in the ground. Those have their place, but for the process that we're doing, that's really not gonna work out, because all that really does over time is just packs down the soil even more. The benefit of a plug aerator is that it actually digs into the ground and it pulls out plugs of dirt and actually removes soil and then lays it over on top. And that's gonna actually create a cavity that the water and nutrients can get down in, and then those plugs will degrade over time and work back in and improve the soil even more. You can pull this with anything. You pull it with any kind of mower, four-wheeler, probably a golf cart, whatever you want to use. I will say I was a little skeptical of this thing. That as hard as our ground is, I was worried it wasn't going to get the job done. But man, let me tell you, I am pleasantly surprised with this thing. It's doing a great job pulling plugs out of the ground. It holds plenty of weight to weight that thing down and really dig down into the ground. As you can see, there's plenty of holes in the ground. This thing's doing a great job. And even here in some of the hardest packed ground, we're still getting a good, probably about an inch, inch and a quarter plug pulled out of the ground. That's really going to get the job done there. Now, I showed you guys some of the worst area. This is what the majority of our yard looks like. We do have some grass in there, but as you can see, there's plenty of bare spots in there. This is the before. All right guys, now that we've got the conditioner down, we've got everything aerated. Now we're ready to put down some more seed and then water, and then it's just a waiting game after that. All right guys, now this is the seed we're going to be using. This is the Pennington Tiff Blair centipede seed, and we're just going to be putting it out with our battery powered handheld seed spreader from Scott's. Now I'm going to put a link to all these things in the description below so you can get them for yourself. Now centipede is a warm season grass seed, so we're in late spring, early summer right now when we're putting this out. It's about the right time for it. They actually call this the lazy man's grass seed because it grows low and slow, so it requires a lot less maintenance, a lot less cutting, and a lot less fertilization, but it does produce a beautiful lawn. All right guys, just a little update. Summer is in full swing. We are mid-June right now, and I just want to give you a little update. We got a lot of centipede coming in, so I'm going to go over here and give you a look at that. All right guys, as you can see, this centipede seed is really starting to come in nice. Obviously it's still a little patchy in areas, but that's the great thing about centipede is that it spreads. So eventually it will spread into these empty areas and fill itself in, and hopefully by the end of the summer we'll have something really impressive to show you guys. But I'm very happy with the amount of centipede we have coming in. It's looking really nice and thick in some areas, obviously patchy. All right guys, we are now in the middle of August, and as you can see behind me, this yard has made a huge transformation. All the work we've done over this summer has really paid off in this yard. We got a nice thick stand of centipede grass. Now I'm just going to quickly go over everything we did, and then we'll walk around and I'll show you some comparisons, some before and afters of some of the best and worst spots in the yard. So as you guys already saw, we put down a soil conditioner, we aerated, we overseeded with centipede, and then of course we watered it as much as we could. We did also go back and aerate again in the middle of the summer. And then we went back into some of those really tough spots and put in some new good quality topsoil and more seed on top of those to really help those grow. Now let's go check it out and see some before and afters. All right guys, as you can see, we got a nice thick stand of centipede grass going here. You can see just how nice and thick that is coming in. You can see I did just get done cutting it. I cut it down nice and low, usually at 1 3/4 inches, and that's going to do a couple things for you. Centipede really likes to be cut low, so keeping it cut low and often really helps kind of choke out some of those other grasses that are in the yard and allow that centipede to thrive. Now you can see that this area looks a whole lot better than it did before, but it's not perfect. There are still some tough patchy spots in here, and let me show you what that centipede looks like. See how that centipede is starting to run across the top of that area, and that's what centipede does, especially if you keep it cut low. Rather than growing taller, it'll start spreading out and run across the ground and really fill in those bare spots. Here's a shoot of centipede that I pulled from the edge of the yard that was growing over onto the sidewalk, and you can see how it grows nice and long, and that's really where it gets its name centipede from, because it runs and spreads and really fills in those areas. As you can see, the majority of the yard has really filled in nicely. Of course, some of those tougher spots are still a little bit patchy here, but like I showed you before, they are starting to fill in as well. Now over here, guys, is the worst part of the yard. This is the toughest spot where we really had a hard time getting anything to grow. This is where you saw at the beginning of the video. And as you can tell, it's still got a ways to go to fill in, but man, does it look better. I'll show you the before and after here of how much this has filled in. And as you can see, these little shoots of centipede here are starting to do their job and fill in those gaps. Now right here you can see a huge difference. This is that area you saw earlier in the video that was really nothing but red clay dirt. There was really no grass here at all. And you can see how much this is filled in. There's really very few bare spots left. This is a huge transformation. It's looking great. All right, guys, that's it for this video. As you can see, we got a nice foundation, and as long as we keep maintaining this, the centipede is going to continue to spread and continue to take over and fill in any bare spots that are left. I could not be happier with the results that we got. So don't forget to check out our links in the description below for all the products we use to make this happen. And if you haven't done it yet, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.